welcome back to Secret of Mana. So it's time to. There was a plot element of which Elinee being doing bad things, so it would be time to now go and hunt her down. And apparently, Ash's boyfriend, Dialog, who's led a group of soldiers coming on their way to actually cause the mayhem. So, and I already was here once. So, but then I had, but that was kind of a, you could say, wrong false alert, false alarm to come here. So there was a, you could say, it occasionally takes some finagling to get the, you could say, the properly navigate all the three characters around. But it is not that much of a finagling, knowing that you can switch between them on the fly, so it really doesn't become that much of an issue. Now, as you actually look about these games, you could say the basic mechanics, you can see that some weapons serve navigational purpose, like a sword which can cut through the grass, and an axe which can break through blocks. But there's also the, well, Neko is now selling stuff, and he's got also all kind of handy important stuff. But let's just buy four set of chocolates, because, and very well known, of course, are those which would later restore magic points. Yes, this game has magic spells, which will become very important and necessary later, but there's no need to buy the fairy walnuts right now. And also the fact that Neko is a very cheap merchant, knowing that, yep, I'm appearing to all these little weird obscure locations, very dangerous, which of course means that I can just blackmail such a huge prices, because hey, we want to find another merchant from this death infested whatever location there is about to be going. So have fun, or you don't, because hey, that guy's a goddamn coward. He's running away. Yep, that character has actually kind of the enemy AI doesn't always be, you could say, truly brilliant, but it does its job, knowing that those enemies are archers, so of course they don't want to go get hand-to-hand happy with you. See, yeah, no other path forward but this. I'll just smack that thing out of existence. Yeah, every foe you defeat gives you money and experience points and weapon skill points, so it also doesn't really matter. Well, money and experience points, it does matter what level of enemy you are faced, what kind of level of enemy you face, but as much as weapon and weapon skill points go, you get weak enemies that you can just smack out from your kick from your feet as little nuisances, and big heavy endgame monstrosities which cause a massive amount of damage and annoyance. They are both give the same amount of weapon experience points, weapon skill points. So it really is not much of, you could say, but if you want to get the weapon skills up, to go and pick fights with really big and dangerous enemies. Not that this game has much of them. As I might recall, there might be something like a dozen different little kind of enemies, like these archers, mushroom men, bats. And about a similar amount of variation of bosses, though there are unique boss monsters as bosses as well, but generally you could say that the enemy variety in this game is, well, you keep fighting a lot of those very similar enemies, mushroom men, rabbits. Not all of them have been introduced yet, but many of them will show up later. What's here? Money. Let's bring out the axe. Yeah, previously I couldn't get here. Now I can. I find it kind of annoying that the weapons have different as in you have to occasionally do a lot of weapon switching around to navigate some, you could say, more complex locations. This is not one of those more complex locations because it is still quite early game. They can't put many of those movement puzzles or challenges. They really aren't much. This game is dungeon design. Very linear, but that would be one of those little movement things which can be so used. But Witch's Forest is quite much of a maze. Different locations, but the enemies are nothing you haven't faced before, so there is not much of big threats around here. At least not yet. Not wanting to pick up. That one I took out just out of painful danger. Yeah, but here is the witch's place and new kind of enemy, so-called werewolf enemy. And it goes down quite. And of course, these eye things are also new kind of enemies. These four enemies, making them potentially very dangerous and potentially not at all dangerous. Yep. But luckily, thanks to the magic of making use of the projectile weapons, there's a way you can shoot across all those little pesky little obstacles, little gaps and all that, which is a nice little function that they added to the projectile weapons like boomerangs and bow and arrow. And there's third one as well, that you can make them attack well further distances and over and across all these barriers that they are show up. Walls, gaps. Okay. That was just a little bit of a mold to wipe out. But now I just kicked in the door to the witch's castle. And there's enemies here as well. So, and Boomerang also has the ability to hit several opponents in a row, which makes it yeah, it's a kind of awkward to aim occasionally, but it has well, a chance to hit multiple foes is just very useful. There's some ghost chairs. Fighting through all these enemies is not necessarily always necessary, but I like to do it. Mostly because they give the experience points and money, and at this phase of the game, both are a bit awkward to get. Or difficult. Whatever adjective or adverb you want to use. I really don't know am I using proper regarding that now. You can quite long distance mics can also be made with weaponry. So doing this kind of long range smacking and whenever there's big red numbers like that one are there showing up that yep, you got yourself a critical hit, or the enemies just got smacked in a critical manner. Oh, and that beam attack it just transfers you into Moogle. It wears off, but it can be quite a hassle. Get busier. Goddamn werewolf. And another one. Yeah, they can attack quite fast and hard. Still weren't that dangerous bunch. Enemies. Oh, nothing strange happening. Oh. Is there any enemy around here? No, there isn't. Okay. How did I get this? Oh, okay, like this. Well. And then there would be Neko as well. Well, thanks. Nice to notice. So let's just see, does he have anything new to sell? No, nothing new to sell, but all that. But I intend to do the save game part thing now. I occasionally might, once I get with this game, I might occasionally do the, let's say, thing called stupid enemies, and I'm just gonna stay here and throw your skull into with a Burham Australian throwing club projectile at your skulls until you actually figure out what you were supposed to be doing or not doing. Every piece of experience points is good. And there will be a lot of those. Chocolate over there. No need to actually, I'm not actually going there because, well, there's a risk that it's a trapped chest and the fact that you really can't get anything truly interesting items, at least at this phase of the game, from chests. So there's not much, let's say, point, at least in this phase of the game to try anything more interesting. And following the rules of the basic game design thing, it will be time to just crash right through the center doors, not even bother with the side doors. Because there might not look like it is nothing interesting in the side doors. This game's level design in that sense is extremely linear. Dungeons are short and they tend to be short and they are linear. And most of which is quite you could say big contrast to something like The Legend of Zelda, which had very complex dungeons. Oh yeah, those triggers were out of existence. Oh, but there's the witch. She decides to scrap. And there's Dive. Oh, and some Thanatos. Oh yeah. Yeah, apparently. Oh yeah, she's giving lots of villainous exposition. Of course, that explains why she dared to do the villainous exposition. Because yeah, I'm just gonna compete with the monster, so no need to be any kind of, you could say, troublesome. And yeah, tiger. Spiky is one of the, you could say, most dangerous bosses of the entire game. Because of that, being very capable of attacking real badly. But luckily, the fire attacks, shooting attacks can be done too. It's taking hits. Trying to get this. Oh, but he goes down. Luckily, he didn't have much of damage, but it wasn't. But it took all my candies to defeat him. Perhaps one of the most difficult bosses of the entire game. But now we also know that there's some sort of bigger villain than Elinee, which is to say Thanatos. That's a scary name. It was a Greek mythology name to death. Or not death in sense that as in person who delivered the death. Not as one who kept the death. An underground palace is a place which refers to Gaia's devil. And now I got also one of the, you could say, another of these mana weapons. The whip. Oh, and 50 GP. She didn't have much. And sent me outside. That was convenient. Yep. Well, that tells me, and also tells me that, yep, go back to Water Palace. So next time I will be actually at Water Palace going to investigate what's going on over there. So see you next time. See ya.